Am I the asshole for asking my wife to wake me up at night when our newborn wakes up? My wife and I just had our third child 1 month ago, 4 weeks. For the first week or two my wife had to wake him up every couple hours to feed him, but now we just let him sleep until he wakes up to eat. Here's where that becomes a problem. I am a really heavy sleeper. There is nothing that can wake me up short of being attacked by a bear or shaken or something. It's been that way since way before my wife and I had kids. Babies crying or screaming do not wake me up. They didn't even when we had our first, so usually I've woken up when my wife turns on the lights for changing and stuff like that. Apparently I sleep through a lot when my wife is getting up a lot. So she is saying she does an unfair amount of work at night because of it. I feel bad because I recognize that if I'm asleep I'm not contributing to the night stuff. So I asked my wife to wake me up when the baby wakes up. And she told me that made it so much worse and that it was like weaponized incompetence. She just doesn't want to wake me up for some reason. I am not weaponizing my heavy sleep against her. I just want her to wake me up so I can help. But like I said, she said that makes it worse. And now she's mad. Am I the asshole for asking to wake me up so I can help with the night stuff for our newborn? Look up vibrating baby monitors for deaf parents. Wear the bracelet. Info: so nothing short of a bear attack wakes up. But her turning the lights on also does. Which is true. And when she turns the lights on for changing, do you get up and help? I've tried literally nothing. Not even a Google search. Am I the asshole? That's how you sound. You're the asshole. You're the asshole. What would you do if she became ill and went into hospital or stayed away from home to care for a sick relative? Let the baby starve. Get yourself some sort of monitor and have it close and loud so it wakes you up. Why should she sacrifice never getting a single night's rest? You're selfish. And I can't believe it's taken her 3 babies to finally realize perhaps she's worth a full night's sleep from time to time. It's an extra task. I can understand her frustration. You are asking her to do more. Perhaps you can sleep near the baby. Dude. I'm surprised she had a second with you. Let alone a third. What would you do if she had died in childbirth? Have your mum come over and wake you up. Your weaponized incompetence is not your sleeping. It's asking your wife to do a task that there are actual solutions for. Hey genius. How do deaf parents hear their babies cry? I would love you to do some actual work and look that up, but Redditors will do it for you. Baby monitors linked to bed pillow shakers or watch alarms. You're the asshole and a whiny mare, but I'm trying one to boot. Bless your sweet wife. You're the asshole. By the time your wife wakes you up, she's going to be wide awake and pushed off even more. Find a way to make it up to her. Not expect her to wake you up. Maybe on the weekend sleep in the nursery and take care of the baby. Something. Info: how do you get up for work? You're the asshole. I'm a heavy sleeper too. There was once a car accident in our front yard. The police and fire department came. I slept through it. But I always heard my children crying. And apparently when something is bothersome to you, such as your wife shaking you or turning on the light, you manage to wake up. That means you are tuning out the baby and forcing her to do all late night duties. That's got to be infuriating. I'm a mother to a young child and I'm like you, struggled to wake up for baby. Hubby was doing 95 of the night stuff. What we did was take shifts. I would sleep on the couch with the baby monitor next to my head, so if She woke up, I wasn't in a deep sleep and could tend to her. Then at say 1 a.m. I'd go to bed and then hubby was on duty. This allowed him to sleep. I then got my deep sleep once in bed but was awake enough to hear baby, so he wasn't doing it alone. You're the asshole. I have a partner who is a heavy sleeper. Every once in a while I do have to wake him up. I either get lying partner who will take to nay and do everything trick in the book to stay asleep, or grouchy angry partner who is not awake but is very unhappy they are not asleep. It is not worth it for me to ever wake my partner. I have no idea if you have those sleep personas. But if you do, it's far easier to let you wake up on your want by turning on a light than it is to be the person who is waking you up. Get a Pavlok shock clock. It literally zaps you, vibrates, and beeps. Your wife can download the app and zap awake from her phone. I bought one because I'm a heavy sleeper and my GF didn't appreciate me sleeping through multiple phone alarms on full blast. It's not a perfect solution as your wife would still be woken up. But it's better than having to physically shake you awake. As a parent of a young baby, you're the asshole. Not because you are a heavy sleeper but because her having to wake you up to tend to the baby defeats the purpose of you being on duty. What's hard about multiple night wakings is three things: 1, the anticipation that you would be woken up multiple times; 2, tending to the baby; 3, trying to fall back asleep again before the next wake. Her having to wake you up arguably means she's also experiencing 1, 3. So find a way. Vibrating monitors. Monitors next to your head pillow. Find a way so your wife can be truly off duty. YTA. It's on you to find ways to balance this parenting gap instead of placing even more on mom's already overloaded plate. My grandma said to get really good with a sharp knee kick to the spouse's back in those situations. I'm not saying she did that. But I'm not saying it wasn't 100 her style either. The baby monitor for the deaf is far kinder to your back. That sounds like a great solution for you to try. YTA. It sounds good in theory. But in reality, all you're doing is giving your wife one more thing to do. Can you take the first feeding and diaper change of the morning? You're the asshole if you haven't researched ways to solve the problem. Your wife is not being unreasonable. Trying to wake you up at night could be so frustrating that it makes it difficult for her to go back to sleep quickly. You're the asshole. Your solution is just more work for her. That's why she's mad. It's on you to get yourself sorted. Plenty of people sleep like the dead, I'm one. But when your baby is screaming, you get up. Your wife has always been there, so you've not had to make yourself. There's plenty of help and appliances out there that aren't your wife. You have a newborn. You're both exhausted. Mama even more so. I see nothing wrong with her slugging you awake when the little one needs their 3 a.m. bottle and diaper changed. You acknowledged you're a heavy sleeper. Your wife is just beyond exhausted, so I wouldn't read too much into it. Manda, I miss those early years of endless cuddles. Try sleeping in the room with the baby. Absolutely, you're the asshole even making that request. She's already gonna be losing sleep and stressed tending to an infant. She does not need to waste her time trying to rouse you from a dead sleep unless it's an emergency. You're the asshole. You're still putting work on her versus finding solutions to help more. Like vibrating bracelets that go off when baby cries, etc. How do you wake up for work? Will you wake up to an alarm clock? I would be beyond annoyed if I had to ask my partner to help. What would you do if she was out of town or traveling for work or something? Let the baby starve. Am I the asshole for choosing our family dog over a friend hard on his luck? Me, my wife, and our 2 daughters, both under 5, live in a decent-sized apartment. Not grand or anything of the sort, but big enough for us and for us to host another person for a limited amount of time that it would not be a burden. Recently, a friend of mine that I've known for a few years from an old job is going through a divorce, has asked me for a place to stay. I talked it over with my wife and she has no problems with him staying with us. When I told him that he could stay, he was so grateful. But then told me to let him know once we have gotten rid of our dog and deep cleaned the home, as he has a severe dog allergy. We never knew about this as it has never been an issue. We always hung out at a mutual friend's house, work, the bar, or double dates at restaurants where no dogs are. I told him that we would not be able to get rid of our dog to accommodate, as he is a part of our family, getting older, and that it would honestly devastate our girls and us. He is now running around bad-mouthing us to our friend group for taking back our offer for him to stay with us and choosing a dog over his health. I have been receiving multiple calls saying that AITA for not helping him now. TLDR, I'm choosing our family dog over our friend staying with us due to his divorce. Edit, I've seen it asked. Me and my family are American from the East Coast. Very pet-friendly area. But we no longer live in the USA as of now due to my work. And currently live in a not-so-dog-friendly country on the other side of the world. Dogs here are not looked at as they are in the USA. Many view them little more than pests and don't understand viewing one as family here. Why aren't all these other friends offering up a place to stay? Next phone call or text you get asking you, gosh, I sure am glad you called. I'll let friend know if you're concerned and offer to let him stay with you. And then listen to the spluttering. Not the asshole. But, boy, your friends sure are judgmental people. Not the asshole. If he'd ask that the dog be kept out of his sleeping area, that would be totally reasonable. But if his allergy to dogs is so severe that it can't be managed with antihistamines, he can't be in an area a dog has been in, then your home was never a suitable option for him. He should have realized that instead of asking you to rehome your dog. Not the asshole. One of the other people in your friend group can accommodate him by getting rid of their own pets and paying for a deep cleaning. If he really needs a place to stay, he can try a hotel or whatever. But how urgent can he be if he can wait for you to find a new home for a family member? Just the suggestion to get rid of your pup would have been enough for me to say no. Not the asshole. You can't send away a family member cause of a person who is in the process of divorce. Lol. Beggars can't be choosers. Not the asshole in any way, shape or form. Who does he think he is? Lol. That's astounding nerve. Wow. Not the asshole. There might be a reason he is so down on his luck if he is making those demands. I also question the level of friendship everybody is if they are critiquing your very normal decision to not get rid of your dog to accommodate them. In fact, since they are so concerned for his well-being, they can take him in. Not the asshole. How could he expect you to get rid of your family dog? You were gracious to offer, but you're definitely not the a-hole here. Wow, just let him know once you got rid of the dog and deep cleaned the house. Those are some crazy expectations. Not the asshole, and don't let anybody tell you different. Not the asshole, you're not choosing a dog over him. What you're doing is deciding not to disrupt your entire family's lives because he didn't disclose his allergy when he asked to stay with you. If anyone calls you an ask why they aren't welcoming him into their homes. Not the asshole reply to anyone giving you shit with a link to this thread. Not the asshole. And no one is going to take his side. But I'm sure they are deaf laughing at him. You don't ditch family pets for your bro. That's not how it works. Until you didn't rescind your offer to stay. This guy wanted you to boot a family member. So he would be able to stay. Sounds like you dodged a bullet here. Guy sounds quite unreasonable. Not the asshole. It's in no way reasonable to assume someone will get rid of the dog for you. He changed the parameters of the arrangement. Not you. So you didn't take anything back. You just responded to the change. He can live with one of your friends who are wrongly calling you the R. Not the asshole, and who TF are these friends? Maybe re-evaluate the friends you have if these are people giving you shit, woman facepalming, light skin tone. Not the asshole. And you didn't choose your dog. You chose a family member over an entitled person. Which is completely the right thing to do. I'm almost sure his bad luck is only a consequence of his attitude. Not the asshole. Say so long to your ex-friend. Not the asshole. Now you know why he's getting divorced and down on his luck. He's as entitled as damn it and thinks the world revolves around him. Tell your friend group to take him in. I wonder if things worked out where he could stay. How long it would take him to demand one of the kids' rooms because he needed it more. Or demand home-cooked meals made to his preference. Or laundry service. Not the asshole. You offered him a place to stay out of kindness after he asked. Now he suddenly had demands that you have to kick your dog out and deep clean your place. He should have told you about this before rather than after you accept to give him shelter. Sounds you have to thank your dog cause seen you dodge a bullet there. Ha 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 ha. What? Your friend is ridiculous. Of course you're not the asshole. Not the asshole. Asking to remove family from your home is just unreasonable. Then, badmouthing you. Yeah. Keep him away from your property. Not the asshole. If this isn't fake, can you imagine what his soon-to-be ex-wife had to put up with? The people calling you an R can take him in. Ugh, this guy sounds toxic AF. Thank God he's not staying. He would have been hell to live with. What a drama queen. Not the asshole. I hope you have dumped him and any friends who agree with him. A dog is a lifelong commitment and you have more responsibility to the helpless dog than the crappy human trying to take advantage of you who can figure out their own life themselves. Not the asshole. And those that are calling you to bitch can offer him a place to stay. Wow. Not the asshole. I would have laughed in his homeless face. Not the asshole. What kind of entitled yar is this person? You beg for a place. But put way over the top demands to it. Asking someone to get rid of their pet. When they are doing you a favor no less. Way too entitled. You and your family dodged a huge bullet. He would have been a nightmare. My guess. His so is divorcing reason. Your pet is your family. He is a waste of space. You are not the asshole at all. This person is awful. Don't feel bad about this for a nanosecond. Even. Not the asshole. Your friend should not be dragging your name through the mud. He shouldn't be trying to catch a place to stay. Either. He can find and fund temporary housing until he resettled. And it isn't a terrific idea to house men friends of yours for any length of time in your home with your young children, especially girls. Am I the asshole for telling my girlfriend that she can cook since she doesn't like my food? I love cooking. I've done it since I was young. My girlfriend knows how to cook but doesn't enjoy doing it, so I've been doing most of the cooking recently. I usually don't have a problem with this, but she's making it not fun. She always seems to find something wrong with my food. She still eats it, but it's a little disheartening to hear that. And it's not like I don't take her advice. I have asked her several times what she wants me to change, but it never works. Last night I made a dish that she's liked before, but she said didn't taste good. I was fed up and told her that she can start cooking her own food if she doesn't like my cooking. She didn't take it and started crying and left the kitchen. Now she's ignoring me. I wasn't trying to make her upset, but I can't keep doing this where she criticizes me but then wants me to keep doing it. Her reaction though is making me question if I handled it correctly. Not the asshole. My partner and I both cook, and the joke between us is, if you don't like it, you know where McDonald's is. Maybe next time tell her she knows how to order her own food that she does like. Not the asshole. And also, how long has this been going on? Did she like your food before but now she doesn't? She should def make her own food if she hates everything you cook. My partner doesn't cook, but when he tries, let's say pancakes, I'll eat them even if they're raw in the middle. It's just so nice to have someone cook for you. Nah man, she has the mentality of a child. Imagine trying to deal with difficult real-life issues with someone who behaves like this. Big red flag. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. She can absolutely cook her own food. It is not your responsibility to bend over backwards to her whims. Not the asshole. You're trying to compromise by cooking a chore she doesn't like, then criticizes what you prepare. I wouldn't cook either. Seems like she doesn't know how to handle frustration, which is a fundamental skill every functioning adult should have. Not the asshole. You are doing something nice for her and she is being ungrateful and rude. She has no right to complain about your cooking if she doesn't want to do it herself. You are not her personal chef. You are her partner. She should appreciate your efforts and give you constructive feedback, not just criticism. If she doesn't like your food, she can either cook for herself or order takeout. You don't have to put up with her disrespect. You are not the asshole since you've asked in the past what you can change and she still complains. She just sounds like a picky eater, which is fine. When you're as an adult, you have to get over that. Not the asshole. If she doesn't like your food, she should cook for herself. Not the asshole. Your GF sounds a little controlling and didn't like it when you stood up for yourself. Not the asshole. She can critique, or she can eat, not both. Is she pregnant? It can mess with your sense of taste. You really need to ask yourself if the relationship is worth it. I suspect it won't get better. No, you are not the R. She made a mountain out of a molehill. What else will be an emotional rollercoaster in your future together? When people show their true selves the first time, believe them. The reaction was straight up emotional manipulation. Having a hissy fit over someone's cooked food. What's next? She won't like your clothes or your friends. You'll have to ditch them. Be wary. My dude. Ipu really have to watch for red flags closely. This sounds like red flag number 1. Not the asshole. She's being a spoiled brat. She wants it both ways. You're bending over backwards into a pretzel and she's still complaining. Let her cook for herself. This isn't a situation where you're making a type of food you know she doesn't like. Or using an ingredient you know she doesn't like. She sounds overly demanding and picky. Info: is she pregnant? Not the asshole. Not the asshole. Your girlfriend is just a drama queen. Ignore her for a while until she comes to you. Let her cook her own food from now on. My mom told me and my siblings that if we didn't like her cooking then we should go to our next door neighbors to eat. Not the asshole. Totally fair. I wouldn't want to cook for someone who constantly complains. The crying is just to manipulate you. Criticism of your food is to manipulate you. See a pattern here. Not the asshole. You have a right to express how you felt. Cooking is not easy and takes time spent in the kitchen. So it's not easy constantly having someone criticize it. Over time, it'll make you lose the joy in cooking. So you acted acceptably. Since you've already asked her multiple times what you could change and it didn't work. Maybe try cooking together. It'll allow you to see what you two do differently in the kitchen or even take a cooking class. Not the asshole. Good for you for standing up for yourself. Is it only the cooking or is she always looking for flaws in other things you do? If she is, then it's a bigger issue. Not the asshole. I rarely do the cooking in my house and I tell my wife all the time that if I don't have to make it, I'm not complaining. The only time I ever say anything is if she says she doesn't like it and I didn't either. She either needs to put up and shut up, or cook for herself. Not the asshole. She needs to stop being so ungrateful. Not the asshole. I also love cooking and I want my husband's input on a dish, but it needs to have actual ways it would be better or a good reason he doesn't like it. He and I usually enjoy the same things, but if there's a dish he doesn't like but I love, he just tells me to let him know that's what I'm making and he'll make his own food that night. But just constantly complaining is rude. Not the asshole. This isn't about the food. It's about manipulating you. Dump this woman and let her play games and test boundaries with somebody else. Not the asshole. But do the grown-up thing and communicate with her along the lines of, it hurts my feelings when you are so critical about my cooking and takes the joy out of it. I feel unappreciated and unmotivated to cook again. Is there a reason why you are focusing so much on what you don't like in my food? There might be something going on that she hasn't shared with you yet. If so, discuss how you can find a compromise. If there is no good reason, then it's perfectly reasonable to say that you won't cook for her again, or say something like, if you keep being negative, I will leave the room. Not the asshole. Beggars can't be choosers. Not the asshole. If GF can't say what's wrong with your cooking, then the problem isn't your cooking. You should pay attention to how she's feeling and you need to talk to her about it. Regarding having her do some of the cooking, she should sometimes we take the work our SOs do for granted. She needs to share the cooking job just so she appreciates what you do. Not the asshole. You have made the effort to change your cooking for her, but she is not interested and crying really. Just sit down with her and tell her in a less aggravated mood how you feel about this, and if she has any more issues, she is just being childish. Not the asshole. My mama, who couldn't cook, always said if you can't do better, don't criticize. I can't cook. So anyone who cooks for me gets compliments and thanks. Even if it was not so good. Because I didn't have to make it. Am I the asshole? Canceling the Barbie movie date with BF. The Barbie movie means a lot to me. F22. I've been looking forward to this movie for so long. I've asked my boyfriend M27 to go to the cinema with me. Both dressed in pink. It would show that he supports me. And it'd just be fun. He agreed to watch the movie with me. But not in pink. I told him wearing pink is minimum effort. He says minimum effort is him coming along to the movie. Am I the asshole for finding this unreasonable? All my friends' boyfriends did it. Even my dad and brother would. I wanted to make a whole event out of it. Take pics at the booth, etc. The pics would be for our eyes only. Not social media. We've decided to cancel the date since the mood is already ruined. Despite what the title says. We've made this decision together. Edit, not asking for a lot here. Just a pink shirt or something. Edit 2. If my BF would ask me to wear those hats worn in Oppenheimer to the cinema, I would do it in a heartbeat. This is a post that could only be written by someone under 25. I would really encourage you to ask yourself why the demonstration if his love and care for you is wearing the color pink to a movie he's already going to solely for you. Does he not show you he cares in any other way, so you're grasping at straws to prove his love in some way? Are you being unnecessarily dramatic and immature and attaching some meaning to this action that there doesn't need to be? Nah. You asked him to get into it and have your kind of fun with the movie. Since he declined, go with someone who feels similarly about the movie as you do. Info. Does he have to buy something pink? Honestly, if he's not even willing to indulge you and wear pink, he would probably hate the movie. I thought it was great though. Man shrugging, medium dark skin tone. Nah. But you will be the asshole if you continue to get mad. Personally, I don't think it would be a big deal to throw on a pink shirt. But if he doesn't want to do it, he doesn't want to do it. He's not Ken. He's not your accessory and he doesn't have to match you. Some people just aren't into dressing up. It's a bummer, but ultimately you're the asshole. Info. Why does he need to show support at a movie? Not the asshole for sure, since he already owns a pink shirt. Honestly, I can't for the life of me figure out why he wouldn't want to wear it himself. My BF and I had lots of fun showing up in pink outfits despite both of us having to dig deep in our closets to find something of the color. Pretty much everyone worldwide was wearing pink. It's cool if he doesn't want to participate, IG, but like, why lol? You're the asshole. How is your BF turning up to a movie wearing pink showing support? It's just a movie, not a rally. Info. Does he own pink? If he owns pink and you're just asking him to wear it that day, he kind of sucks for saying no. If he doesn't own pink and would have to go out and buy something that he'd hate and never wear again, then you kind of suck for pushing it. But overall, canceling was the easiest option. I am going with my sister and mom, just waiting for sister to get back from a trip, and made it clear to them they both have to wear pink. But they both own it and wear it often enough so it's not a big deal. Nah. But I wouldn't marry anyone who didn't share my sense of fun. Not because they're wrong, but because that's a basic compatibility issue. IMHO. My 70-year-old hubs is still a very merry person. Even after 40 years of marriage, I just asked him whether he'd be willing to wear pink to the Barbie movie. And he instantly said sure. You're the asshole. It would show that he cares and supports me by wearing a color. Am I the asshole for finding this unreasonable? You are unreasonable. Are you sure you're 22? You sound more like you're 12. Not the asshole. I wore a pink shirt when I took my daughter to Barbie. Both dressed in pink. It would show that he cares and supports me. You're the asshole, and that's a ridiculous statement. I'm going against the grain here. Wearing a pink shirt isn't going to kill him. And people acting like it is weird. It's not a huge ask. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. I believe this post has been brigaded or something. I can't believe you're the asshole is so popular. You just asked him to wear a certain color of shirt. It's no different than if you were going to a themed party and asked him to dress for the theme. I personally take this to my heart. My friends tried to watch the Barbie movie with me and cancelled without me knowing. And we were going in roller skates. The fact that I showed up in neon yellow roller skates with bright pink wheels. A pink shirt is nothing. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. Also, Jesus H. Christ. The number of dudes in this thread who seem to think their dick will fall off if they wear pink or are seen enjoying anything perceived as even remotely feminine. You're the asshole. Sorry. I loved the movie. And my partner wore pink. But because he wanted to. Making someone wear something they don't want to wear is a huge red flag and very problematic. Does he own a pink shirt? Because if he does and won't wear it, that's kind of a he's tar. If he doesn't, there's no need for him to go out and get a shirt. Now. Yes. Minimum effort is going to the movie. But why is sharing something with his partner a minimum effort? I don't like a lot of movies, but I still go with my partner because he enjoys them. I don't make a deal or fuss. Is this the first time he's refused to do more than the minimum for you? How often does he say, well, at least I came along? Go with your dad and brother instead and have fun, not the asshole. You both are ridiculous. Not the asshole. He sounds fragile. But also, it sounds like he didn't even want to go. So I'd plan a fun day with some friends to go see it. You are not the R. My wife used to do Renaissance fairs and that kind of stuff. She still likes dressing up now and then, so we do it for Halloween and other parties now and then. It's not my thing. But it makes her happy, so I go along with it and do it happily. What's the problem with dressing up if it makes someone you care about happy? Not the asshole. It's a fun idea. Any guy so that can't wear pink once for a big event has a lot insecurity and fears about what other people think. Enjoy the movie with your friends or family. Please get him a hoodie that says I am Keno to keep him warm while you go out and have fun. I was with a drag for WAAAY too long before I realized that I am an enthusiastic participant at heart, and he always made me feel lame when I just wanted to join the fun. Not the asshole. You're the asshole. What a stupid post. He sounds boring and uninvested. It's not just about the shirt. It's about investing interest into your partner and what they like. I couldn't care less about sports. But I learn soccer and basketball stuff for my wife because I love her and want to show interest. A pink shirt won't kill him. Find someone who matches the effort you put in. Not the asshole. I don't know. Not the asshole. And why don't you proceed to watch them with your dad and brother in pink? Take tons of pictures and post them. Be petty a little bit. Not the asshole. Given he already owns a pink shirt, doesn't have a problem wearing pink. It's a weird flex considering it's not that much of an effort and all the other girls BFS that you guys know did it, so it's not like he'd be standing out. You seem like a weird person. Am I the asshole for asking my father's girlfriend to chew with her mouth shut? So, My father has a girlfriend who is from China. She often visits and makes food. I am usually with my mother the whole year round, but I am staying with him for half of the summer. She visited and made food with my father. Fish with carrots and potatoes with some sauce I didn't know what was. Every time she visited she would eat with her mouth open. I don't know why. I presumed that it was a subconscious action. So I asked her if she could chew with her mouth shut while we were eating. She didn't take it well. She threw off her apron and retreated into my father's room. 30 seconds later she starts taking her stuff. My father said thanks a lot, and I was saying again and again that I didn't know what I did wrong. My father said that she had eaten that way her whole life, and that I should shut my mouth and think before I say something. I don't understand why she was so angry. So am I the asshole for asking her to eat with her mouth shut? Edit. My father just came and said that she was taught to eat that way. So it isn't medical. Nor can it really change because she's 50 and we can't expect her to change just because it's gross. In Norway. Different cultures. His words. Edit 2. She is actually a nice woman. Which is why I was so surprised why she was mad. If anyone thinks she's spoiled, she isn't. If all you did was ask her to chew with her mouth closed, there's no scenario where you could possibly be in the wrong. People ask other people for things all the time. So as long as you weren't judgmental about it, there's no problem. IDK where people are getting your rudeness from at all because you don't even sound rude describing it here. There is no universe in which storming off at a question like that is acceptable in any way either. Not the asshole. Pretty rich of him telling you to shut your mouth when she won't shut her mouth. My father just came and said that she was taught to eat that way. So it isn't medical. Nor can it really change because she's 50. 50-year-olds not being able to learn new things or change their habits is news to me, not the asshole. I know plenty of people from China, Hong Kong and the mainland. None of them chew with their mouths open. This is not a cultural thing, it's a bad manners thing. If she cares about not appearing crass and ill-mannered, she'll learn to keep her mouth closed while chewing. It isn't that hard to do. Not the asshole. If someone is eating with their mouth open, I wouldn't be able to eat with them. It's gross and I have a sensitivity to eating noises. As an Asian Filipino in particular. Lots of fellow Asians I know chew with their mouths open. Obviously not all Asians do, but she could feel attacked because it's seen as normal in most places. Not the asshole, and I have no idea why anyone is calling you an R for asking someone to chew with their mouth closed. This woman's reaction is completely unhinged. You made a simple request and she threw a tantrum like a child. You didn't yell at her to stop. You didn't shame her. You just asked her to chew with her mouth closed. My grandparents were from China and they smacked me if I chew loudly or with my mouth wide open. Not the asshole. I have misophonia and someone chewing with their mouth open makes me want to literally kill them. It's also disgusting. I don't want to see the food in their mouths. She's old enough to know that she needs to chew with her mouth closed. It's bad manners. Annoying and gross. Not the asshole. As someone with misophonia, the sound of chewing really sets me off. You should not have to deal with something that makes you uncomfortable. That being said, tell your dad that so long as you're uncomfortable, you'd like to not hang around them, as it'll just make things worse. Yes. Culturally, there are some norms that are considered polite, but obviously this makes you uncomfortable. So you should not have to be subjected to being around those triggers. Not the asshole, but after reading the comments on different cultures, maybe we all a tar cold sweat smile melting face. Not the asshole. It's gross bad manners. It's also the sole reason I stopped watching Man v. Food. Casey talks with his mouth full. Disgusting to watch. Not sure. I think you should have told her privately instead of embarrassing her in front of other people. Not the asshole. Honestly, I'm not sure what else you can really do in this situation. I understand that eating with your mouth open is part of Chinese culture depending on the area. But she's not in China. If you were in her country and her home and had said this, then it'd be extremely rude. But you're not. She's in your country, with different cultures and social standards. And she's in your home. And from my knowledge, you requested she stop in a respectful manner. Her reaction was over the top, and I don't understand the people demanding for you to apologize when I don't see what you did wrong. I have misophonia. I literally could not handle it. I don't think there is anything wrong with asking someone to chew with their mouth closed. It wasn't in public or was in your home, so not disrespectful. Maybe don't eat with them. I couldn't. Nah. It really is a cultural thing. I'm from a North American city with a very high percentage of the population of people from Asia. As disgusting as I think it is, a lot of people here chew wide-mouthed, jaw gaping, slurping, smacking their whole way through meals. It's just something you have to get used to. You're not a jerk for asking her to change. But she doesn't have to, and she's not a jerk for not wanting to. Hard one. In Chinese culture this is not unusual. I can't be around open chewing. So I don't know I would cope with this. Not the asshole. It's horrible to listen to and bad manners. I have a feeling the direct Norwegian delivery added to the outcome. Not the asshole. Everyone whining about culture. It was a simple request. There will be more such requests in the future. Should OP never communicate something bothering them in case it's culturally sensitive? You're all responding like he slapped her in the face for growing up somewhere else. Not the asshole. She could learn. Not the asshole, but next time assert dominance and do the same thing while coughing and staring into her soul. Not the asshole. My father said that she had eaten that way her whole life. And that I should shut my mouth if GF kept her mouth shut. They wouldn't even be having this conversation. It's considered gross in other places besides Norway, by the way. Not the asshole. Maybe it's accepted where she comes from. But she's not there anymore. If she can accept other cultural norms where she is now, she can accept this one. You're not asking her to suck your dick. You're just asking her to chew food with her mouth closed because she's not a fucking toddler anymore. 50 years old is not too old to learn better manners. Not the asshole. And yes, TF, you can ask her to change. No way in hell would I have someone chewing like that and not lose my appetite every time she does it. Tell her to stop. She probably got mad because she gets called out on it because it's gross AF. Not the asshole. Am I the asshole for cancelling on my 35F best friend's 36F birthday party at the last minute? I 35F have 2 children 5 meters and 3F and a baby who is only 16 weeks old. My first 2 pregnancies have gone quite smoothly, with a few bumps on the way but not much problems. My 3rd pregnancy was really tough as I got diagnosed with preeclampsia, put to bed rest for 6 weeks, and had an emergency C-section during which both me and the baby almost died. I stayed in the hospital for longer than 2 weeks before I was deemed healthy enough to be released. My husband has been beside me in the delivery room all 3 times and does most of the chores and takes care of the kids while I recover and makes sure I have everything. I have saved more than enough money from both our jobs to have the ability to afford to stay at home for as long as is needed. My best friend, we'll call her Ashley, has been my BFF since elementary school. We've never missed each other's birthdays, no matter what was going on in our lives or how far apart we were. She also was aware of my troubles. Yesterday was her birthday. In the morning I was feeling below par and I was too tired to get out of bed, so my husband took care of all the kids and helped me shower like he did a 100x before during my pregnancies and postpartum. When it was around 2 p.m. I was feeling a little better, but I was still worn out, so I called Ashley. Her birthday party was scheduled at 3 p.m. and I was supposed to arrive at 2:30 p.m. I waited until 2 p.m. because I knew how important her birthday is and I was hoping that I would feel good enough to come over. I told her that I'm sorry, but I'm afraid I won't be able to come to your birthday party because I'm not feeling well. She asked what was wrong, and I told her that I was extremely exhausted and there was no way I can be at her party. I literally heard her sigh angrily and she said, "But what about our promise? I broke my arm while racing and still traveled 1,000 miles for your birthday. But you can't drive 20 miles to see me. If your fat ass can reach the grocery store, then you would come here if you actually cared." That's when I became mad and told her, "Well, if you had kids then you would understand," and that's when she said FCKU and hung up. That wasn't the entire conversation. You might think, what's so bad about saying if you had kids? Ashley can't get pregnant due to an incident that happened during our younger college days and the topic is very sensitive for her. So me saying that was extremely vile. This morning, I woke up feeling much better and I attempted to contact Ashley so I could apologize, but she wouldn't pick up and ignored all my text messages. My husband said that I shouldn't apologize because if she was a real friend she would have shown concern and worry instead of anger and the attitude of a brat, so she deserved my comeback. But I feel so guilty for bringing up her inability to have kids and I feel like such an asshole for doing so. Am I the asshole? You're the asshole. First of all, it's a stupid pact that made no accommodations for adult life situations. Although, if you were still having problems getting out of bed or showering on your own 4 months postpartum, I hope you are under a doctor's care. You waited until the last minute to tell her you weren't coming. If you have consistently been this weak, you should have warned her days or weeks ago. Her comment was unkind, but your comment was downright cruel. Of course it's okay to not go if you're unwell, but you didn't need to be a jerk and throw her infertility in her face. You're the asshole. Whilst she should have been a bit more understanding. Saying you'd understand if you had kids to someone that can't have kids makes you far more tar than her. If you had kids you'd understand. You're the asshole. She was mean. You were below vile. I'd never speak to you again. Lifetime of friendship doesn't give you the right to do that. I cannot imagine the pain my friend who cannot have kids goes through. I don't care how ugly she was to me. I'd never ever use that as a weapon. You're the asshole. You're the asshole. She drove 100 miles. Update based on comment traveled 1,000 miles to you on your birthday with a broken arm. You had your third child 4 months ago. This is your new normal. And you know exactly what it involves. Yet you couldn't drive 20 miles on her birthday. Or cancel earlier. Or offer an alternative to celebrate with her. Or even just keep your pie hole shut about her infertility on her actual birthday. I hope she keeps you blocked. I broke my arm and still came to visit you. Yeah. Well, you can't have kids. Talk about bringing a rocket launcher to a knife fight. You're the asshole. I do not care what caused the fight. You weren't feeling well. She did get oddly mean about you not showing up. But guess what? You still don't talk about infertility to win an argument. I hope you lost a friend. Because I'd never trust someone who freely uses infertility as ammunition in a BS high school argument. You're the asshole not for canceling but for being so incredibly vile as to taunt her about not having children. Use any excuse you want. You are still going to know you are a nasty piece of business who deliberately hurt someone you supposedly care about. I wouldn't take your calls either. Any friendship I had with you would be permanently over. Gonna say you're the asshole. She said something not nice but you bailed last minute and then said something unforgivably mean. If I were her I would block you and never look back. You sound really mean. Especially if it's a sensitive topic too. We trust our friends to not ever say evil things about things that hurt us. Just because you popped out 3 kids doesn't mean you are better than her. Sue. It sucks when lives change and friendships have to change too. But neither one of you handled this well. By the way, it's pretty much always a dick move to say if you had kids you'd understand. She's too old to be holding an obligation like that against you when you were put in such a life-threatening situation. And the way she called you fat. Are you even really friends? You, however, are messed up for going for the throat with a longtime friend like that. If that's the first response you have for her. I repeat, are you even really friends? You're the asshole. Couldn't you have just called her that morning and perhaps suggested she come over FaceTime, etc., so that you could spend time together on her day? The fact that you threw her inability to conceive at her was below the belt. Personally, I hope she never speaks to you again. You're the asshole. It was an ESH until you hit her where it hurts. Using infertility as an insult is never okay and would end a friendship for me. You should have reached out prior to let her know where your health was heading instead of backing out an hour prior. She should be a better, more understanding friend, and you absolutely suck for the children comment. You're the asshole and you know it. You must have expected that she would be disappointed that you're missing her birthday. You're the asshole. You waited until the very last minute to tell her. You took a jab at the fact she can't have kids. WTF is wrong with you? But if you're that sick, tired, and unrecovered 4 months after your surgery, you need to go see your doctor, and I hope you already are. That's not normal. Not being able to shower yourself 4 months later isn't normal. Are you sure you don't have postpartum depression or PTSD or something?